The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
This is why I don't like this app as opposed to Zoom. That you just do that.
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The meeting is recording.
Oh, the old heads up. And I'm going to change the intro so people are going to see you completely voguing to whatever I decide to play.
Lord Father. Oh my gosh. It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the true nation station WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do. Right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, the Tainos and the Kalinagos, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and say it with the chest that Columbus lied, but also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, where the P this week stands for
progress, brother. Progress.
King Austin.
Well, yeah, that too.
And as we're talking about progress, one of the biggest talking points over the past 7 days has been the fact that August the 1st has a new level of significance.
A new level of significance, you see?
Yeah. And when I say a new level of significance, it is because that day has now been given a certain extra oomph in its recognition.
Okay.
Not just because we know August the 1st is my birthday, but is also yes, it is. But also because we know that August the 1st is now African Emancipation Day.
Yeah.
Because if you know the history, emancipation only happened to the African slaves. Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, Trinidad and Tobago was actually responsible for pioneering emancipation, recognizing emancipation as a day. And
as a holiday?
As a holiday. Yeah. As a
big up the doctor.
And curiously enough, it's not often I'm gonna say this, but Ketos get right on this one. He get right on this one. Yeah. If I'm going to critique accordingly, I definitely had hang my hat where it's due, and that was I could respect that move. I could get behind it.
Yeah, I for one, I loved it when I heard of it. However, you know, with every positive, sometimes there's a directly tied negative. And I think this is one of the biggest issues that I have in our country when it comes to our journalistic standards.
Listening.
I rarely ever watch the news. Rarely ever.
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. Sometimes, you know what? I never watch the news.
You could say infrequently even.
No, of my own accord, I never watch the news.
Okay.
You would never come to my house
and see
me tune on the news at 7 o'clock.
All right.
It had to be Olympics was showing on a local channel and I forget to change it, and I just so happen, we'll get to that just now. Yeah. Anyway, right?
Yeah. No, actively listening.
But you see those fan polls that we just ask. Why is it that on a day that such a significant announcement was made, the media's response is, do you agree?
Where's the problem with that? Where's the problem with that?
It's not just that question in isolation, but there have been a string of questions that I have noticed on something on a meta level that have always skewed the importance of certain things.
All right. No, let me just presume, right, that people no longer interested in news and are more interested in whatever contention, bacchanal, or disagreement we could foster within our space. Let me just assume that that's not what it is. What type of question would you have preferred in regards to that particular announcement?
Do ask it.
So pretend that okay, so ask an unrelated question then.
Fine. There are so many other things that happened in the country over the past 7 days. You could have picked something else on that day.
Okay, so what you're saying is that based on the significance implied and otherwise of making that day, renaming the day, and announcing it to the public, they should not have done anything at all to even contest or undermine it?
Yes.
All right.
Because I just call a spade because you know sometimes I just do that. I don't see when other significant instances occur, questions surrounded those things.
Okay.
You understand where I'm going with here?
Yeah. All right. I hear you. I could read that. Definitely.
So my thing is, something has been awarded to my people, to my ancestors.
And by ancestors, we pretty much mean our grandparents and great-grandparents. That wasn't as long ago as people think.
I'm not going to say 1836 was just the other day.
Yeah. Maybe not grandparents, but
I'm not going to say great grandpappy Williams.
It even had to go so far. My father was 84 when he passed away last year. So
right, that would have taken us back to, let's say, 1940.
Yeah, about 1937. Right. So 100 years before that, like 2 generations.
Let's just say 3.
Even though that great.
So great grandpappy Williams.
He grandfather.
Great.
Would have still be in that And then again, to remember the declaration in, I think it was 1834,
1836, 1834, 1836, 1838.
Right. Not just because of the declare, I mean it was actually enacted as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Yeah,
that could be conversation.
Yeah, that whole next thing. Anyway, with that being said, this is the living room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, alongside my bro with no fro but a lot of flow.
Carter Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage.
In a jacket.
Well, it's a sweatsuit actually. Yeah, us athletes, we trainers now. We have to regulate the body temperature prior to and post athletic events now.
Are you one of those that? And I'm going to say, are you one of those that clock the age of the big 4-0 and then all of a sudden decide here we're going on? I'm going to start to run marathons?
No. Prior to COVID, I was an avid power walker around the Maniramjan and the community, the environs.
So fitting.
Yeah, and then I did my first 5K ever, actually, when I really think about it, because the half marathons we used to do in Paris or something else, and that would have been 30 years ago anyway. But yeah, I did a 5K with the AAPG YPTT, which is a whole lot of letters, but
I'm not going to say that. You best say the whole alphabet.
yeah, understand. But that is the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, the Young Professionals Trinidad and Tobago chapter, and the GSTT, the Geological Society of Trinidad and Tobago. They were sponsors for a 5K fun run and walk. It was in support of autism awareness, and they were official sponsors. So big up the Support Autism TNT organization, WDA crew, Metronomes, and a medal. You understand? Your boy is an athlete again, you know?
Just now, wait. You know why I go and ask, huh?
What? Wait. Well, to talk more about the significance of recognizing autism?
No.
Uh-huh.
What's the time?
Oh, no. I was walking. 49 minutes.
Oh, well, yeah. But I'm not going to be in the same boat.
Yeah, I was walking. Want to do more, because I safely think that even just power walking, I could bring my time down to maybe 40.
Yeah, you want to join? You want to join man one Sunday morning?
Which Sunday morning?
This Sunday coming here.
You know, this is my birthday weekend.
What are you going to do for your birthday weekend?
I'll probably go to church. I start back on the church.
I know that. I was saying, what are you going to do for your birthday weekend?
I pretty say going to church after doing 5Ks. I don't know how I feel about that. And there's the whole day church thing too. They say, 9:15 it starts, and by 10:30 you reach home. It ain't like that. But talk to me. What 5K is this?
So something in the savannah start Sunday morning 6:30.
I might say something in the savannah.
Yeah, I guess sign up. You know how this go. I guess sign up to do a 5K.
Oh, so you want me to plus one? Why does anyway? But per chance anyway. But I medaled, so big up the Support Autism TNT. Wearing my little banner thing too, like on yourself. There's also a young lady that I think we should interview at some point in time or another. I think Sydney Designs or Design Sydney,
okay,
something like that. A autistic young lady who's done some amazing drawings and sketches that she's turned into a t-shirt line. And
so,
if I
I love t-shirts.
Done, and I realize it's a whole vibe. So
I get banned from buying sneakers, so let me buy some t-shirts now.
Well, technically you could buy about 3 or 4 t-shirts for the price of one pair of sneakers, something like that. I don't know how much you used to pay for your kicks.
Let's not get into that, please.
Huh. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. As we be hanging our hats and stuff like that, I wanna congratulate not just you, Ricardo, on your medal, but I also want to congratulate one of our prior guests, Mr. Daniel Vincent.
Yes, correct is right.
He would have came third in the competition in Puerto Rico, so congratulations, Daniel. He didn't hit his donation goal, but he was still able to head across there to compete, and he would have come third in his weight class.
All right. Is that the last opportunity, or that was the one prior to the last opportunity?
I think that was the one prior, because I still see that there's some talk being thrown online of more athletes being able to qualify for the Olympics. So we'll have to touch base with him and see how that process is going.
Yeah.
Because if he finished third, I mean, he was one away.
Yeah, I think it was top 2. He had said, right. So even if that was one of those, I don't know if that was the competition that would have defined the top 2,
or that was just to get the workouts and the real scenarios in place. So we'll have a touch base with him and probably a quick 5-minute convo or something and see how best.
Yeah, we could also go onto DJ Aaron 868 YouTube page and pull up the episode and check it out yourself.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, church, This weekend, I would have ventured down to Siparia, La Divina Pastora, Roman Catholic Church for their feast day celebrations. Boy, yeah, boy. I'm not gonna lie to anyone. Seeing persons come all the way from Arima,
Right.
to come down to Siparia to attend church.
All the way from Arima to Superior.
What?
Arima to Superior.
Please no.
No. All right. Moving on. They're actively listening.
Right? WAC would have been down there doing the coverage.
Yeah.
So I would have had the privilege to sit and learn of the history of Siparia with Miss Teresa Noel and Saint Bernard Marcel. Two persons who have a wealth of knowledge about what took place and is taking place in Siparia.
I should ask them if they know anything about my family. You know, my family from down on that side.
I didn't think of that honestly, so I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
But I could always ask them because I'm based down there now. So anyhow, so that hey, Kenny is the worst, you know.
Oh God, I know catch me.
Kenny is the worst. And also I want to shout out the EnviroFest committee in Siparia. They would have partnered with the church to do a harvest after mass.
Okay.
Right. There was the unfortunate incident of me trying to do hoopla.
Oh.
Yeah, I won a tin of mackerel.
Something fishy about that, you know.
If you go on the road outside the church, the tin of mackerel is still there.
Why? What happened?
I gave them it back. I felt bad, you know.
But
Was going to use it mackerel?
you never eat fried dry or what?
Yeah, but use it mackerel?
Why not?
Okay,
it's
cool.
edible. And it's not Kareli. What you doing, man?
Brother man, that Kareli chow.
I gotta confess though, I ate some Kareli the other day.
Okay.
It was for Eid and it wasn't a mother-in-law, so technically it don't count. I just saying.
Okay.
I just saying. That's the only permissible time that one should consume Kareli.
Right. So they had EnviroFest. I would have seen performances by our very own, the Rasta, the man with the lyric that ain't no gimmick. He was there to please.
Something about squeeze.
Yeah. On
90.1
degrees. Brass Commander, right? Steve Pascal. He would have performed. What's that?
No, if you can remember our intro slogan, we had to get him back. We had to get him back.
Yeah.
We do a show.
Right? And the night was culminated with a performance by the police band, along with some Kaisonians. And Farm and Happy also made an appearance.
Hey, nice one. Yeah, Siparia people are good people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I'm hearing, there's a very strong possibility that a family from Grenada, like a very strong possibility. So going to do some digging.
We can see.
Yeah.
We can see.
Yeah.
But that was a real nice experience on Sunday.
A good man. No, it was nice Sunday, like church.
I'm not gonna say no. But you know what was not a nice experience on Sunday? Sports.
What happened on Sunday?
There were two games, both of myself and Ricardo's teams would have played on Sunday.
What are you talking about?
Don't deny it, yeah. Come on.
I own Team Jesus. I don't know anything about any other teams. That's the only Sunday team it have, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about, Aaron. And I refuse to be suckered into a conversation about things that I know nothing about.
No. It's public knowledge. So if even you don't know about it, it's out there on the internet, on Patrick Manning's internet. So you can go and Google it for yourself. Manchester United, my team, I think they really do need some divine intervention. Because they had a 3-0 lead against Coventry City, a team from the Championship, the division below them.
Yeah.
And they would have let that lead slip.
Oh, there.
And had to win on penalties.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually worse than us losing by a disallowed goal.
And what?
Yeah. I mean, okay, Aaron, you said the goal to disallow for the Classico?
Yeah. That I actually just read a press release from Joan Laporta saying that they acknowledge that the goal was a legitimate goal. But they're not going to get baited into replaying the game.
Wow. Anyway.
So, yeah. Barcelona would have lost 3-2 in the Classico this weekend against their bitter rivals, Real Madrid.
Yeah, big up man like Willie. And Nine.
Yeah.
Malan, Homer. All the Real Madrid fans that just come out on the way all of a sudden.
You sure it's just them?
Oh, go Andrea Costa, boy. Oh, go.
Right?
Sean Lynch.
And the reason why I bring football up in this at this point is because
of my athletic finish.
No, that was not it. And actually, you should be talking about the half marathon for the Olympics and the marathon for the Olympics. That's going to be coming up in August.
Serious?
Exactly. You forgot Olympics is in August?
If I'd paid attention, I would have been training. I had thing for them here on. I get back my knee.
Paris 2024.
Is that power walking?
I think so. It's a walking race.
I was saying I have a thing, you know. Heel to toe, you know. Heel to toe.
Anyway. Right. One of the things that I've been paying careful attention to, and not just paying attention to it, also speaking a lot about it in different circles, is progress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you that assiduously follow sports, right?
Yeah.
Barcelona and Manchester United were once powerhouses in world football. And over the past couple years, there has been a dip in form. Yes, Barcelona would have won the league last year.
Mm-hmm.
But admittedly, they have not been to the standards that they were 5 to 10 years ago. Manchester United has not been to the standards that they were since Sir Alex Ferguson would have retired in 2013. The West Indies cricket team has been turning a corner so much. I think it's a Marigon or something, a side with like 1,000 sides, a shape with 1,000 sides.
That corner big like Queen's Park Savannah, yes?
Had to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? West Indies cricket team has been always turning a corner. Trinidad football, oh my gosh. We'll have a promising performance and then we'll lose 5-0 to Martinique. Or Curacao.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I use sports as the example because sport is a universal language. But Ricardo, how can you measure progress when all you see persons speaking of on a public forum is their wins? You don't hear people talking about the 3 or 4 steps that it will take for them to reach where they post or what they talk about.
Oh,
they won't
so
talk about the failures. They only talk about the positives.
So you're not talking about progress. You're talking about PR. You're talking about the public perception of victory. You're talking about the aesthetics, not the athletics. See what I did there?
Okay, Mr. Athlete.
Yeah. I mean, I remember too this jacket with my medal and thing. Yeah, big up Sibo for the jacket though. I wear this every time I'm missing him. One of the many trainees who migrate over the past couple of years. But anyway, there's a whole lot of conversation that might be an indicator of the lack of progress that we see in the country. But anyway, there's a whole other thing. But all right, so what you're talking about, Aaron, is that people not being transparent with the journeys.
And it's not just people are talking about here. I'm talking about organizations.
Made up of people. Go ahead.
Right. I'm talking about countries.
Also made up of people. But go ahead.
I'm talking about the world as a whole. Because we celebrated Earth Day yesterday, which was Monday, the 22nd of April. But really, and we talking Earth Day, all these technological advances, cloud seeding, that causing floods, maybe, because I'm not sure.
You drink all the conspiracy juice today, boy. Anyway, go ahead.
We feel like drinking right there. Anywho.
Yeah.
But that's this thing. We so want progress that we're not willing to be transparent about the steps it takes to get to the progress. Because if all you're showing is how you move the goalpost from here to here,
we'll have no regard for it, as we saw on Sunday. But anyway, go on.
Right? All you're showing is how you move the goalpost from here to here. But we're not showing people the process to make them successful as well.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, when I was mediating for the Minds of Trinidad and Tobago panel in Marbella North Secondary School a couple days ago, one of the things I told the kids, the youths, was that I get a gray hair for every mistake I ever make in my life, For every mistake or every lesson that I ever made or learned, I get a gray hair. At the end of the day, I know that I am very transparent about the challenges that I am facing now because of the false perception people have that anything that you see anybody do is an overnight success now. Like people watching DJ Aaron 868 now doing big things like, Lyman with Kenny Phillip and hosting Panorama. Yeah, that's true that day. In case you're listening now, you just had to get them a little something to, get them off the bed when the morning come.
That's a big thing.
Hosting Panorama in the Mashgra finals and thing, and people will be like, "Hey, well, Aaron on TV there, boy. He get through, boy." And they wouldn't remember his 200 and something shows you do virtually during COVID. Right? They wouldn't understand that is back-to-back shows, and sometimes you're doing events and then taking up your shift or doing a recording and then going to work. People don't know the work that you put in. They don't know the times you lose opportunities or that you met challenges or you just couldn't go any further. I think we've been fairly transparent about our journey because we also recognize the value of seeing people. And I don't mean struggling in the sense that they ain't getting through, but struggling in the sense that they're putting in the difficult work. Right? I think we've been, and I pat myself on the back for this, I think we've been excellent examples of the fact that consistency generates rewards. The challenge is, plenty of people don't post until they cross that line. Plenty of people don't post until they feel they have like a major win to celebrate. So it disillusions the people who making these small steps and meeting the obstacles and have to go through the learning curve. So you know what? To quote J.L. Valdez, big up you for bringing this to the forefront, because you're right. If we're looking at the examples around us as motivation, we're not motivated to put in the hard work and do the small steps.
And the reason why this conversation came up, right? And there's something that it has been playing on my mind as to how we should discuss it. There's a gentleman that I follow on on most social media platforms. He was the mayor for the Tunapuna Regional Corporation. He goes by the name Kwesi Robinson. He embarked on a challenge on the 1st of January to walk 100 days, walk for the first 100 days, walk 1 hour a day for the first 100 days of 2024. He made 102 days before he took a break.
Yeah, nice, man.
And then he's back at it again.
Yeah, we're talking about. What is the name is? Kwesi Robinson.
Kwesi Robinson.
Yeah, I'm gonna give my follow one time and see what's going on.
Right? And every day he would post a short video about that challenge.
Yeah.
And he would have inspired me to say, hey, what's going on? Hey, sometimes is you really have to let people know that you have everything going for you. You might be professionally where you want to be. You might have the family, you might have everything. But there's always something that you could challenge yourself to do better. But not just challenge yourself to do better, but show people that, hey, I'm not at my best, I'm vulnerable at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me take you on this journey with me to a better me, to a better point.
Mm-hmm.
But most people, what we like to do is we just package it at the end and say, new me, hashtag new me.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. People still say that?
No.
No?
No.
All they do is win?
No, no, definitely no.
0 to 100 real quick?
No.
Hashtag gains?
No.
Anyway, whatever. Actively listening. Go ahead.
Right? But that's the thing for me. We honestly, as a people, because remember, as you said, the people make up the organization, the people make up the country, the people make up society, the people make up the world.
Mm-hmm.
If we as people are afraid to be transparent with our fellow man, how we expect to grow emotional intelligence?
Watch you.
How do we as people expect to grow if we can't be transparent? If we can't hold ourselves accountable?
You know, you just highlight one of the most ridiculous paradoxes of society.
What's that?
For a world where we oversharing, we're not transparent at all. Sorry, not for a world where we oversharing, for a season, for an era where we oversharing.
And I'm gonna say, I wouldn't say it's not a world for the platforms that we overshare. Because you know what's the total paradox to this?
What's that?
You could live in a house with your mother and your father and they don't know who the child is, you know.
Gasp, Aaron, come on, this is you're talking about in terms of lineage and infidelity? Or you're talking about the intimacy of understanding the children's personalities?
I was just talking about personalities, brother man. Just saying.
Because that touchy subject, you know, it have plenty men out here don't know who the child is.
Was he saying daddy's maybe
father, what? Mother baby,
mommy baby, father maybe?
Oh, that's not what we're talking about.
No, that's definitely not what I'm talking about.
You talking about they don't know who the child, who the person is.
They know who the person is because you know what? You're packaging something to your parents.
Mm-hmm.
But when they go to school, it's something totally different.
Yep.
I heard a spoken word when I worked for Damien's children's show a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the most outstanding pieces to me.
Yeah.
We have become so good at packaging ourselves that most of us don't know who we are.
Yeah, boy.
And I bring it back to a question that we would have posed when we had Yule with us.
Yeah.
Yule Netta.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been sometime to the end of last year, probably.
Yeah, the name of the episode was communicated.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he posed the question, who are you? And not where does work.
Mm-hmm.
But who are you? Sorry, let me break it even further. Not where does work, not where does do. But who are you? And it took me at least 3 months to be able to properly answer that question.
Yeah, you proper imploded. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. Yeah, look, I was watching your face on the episode here. That was November 21st. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know the nicknames that I've had over the years, social sage is what I intended on becoming as opposed to who I was. I wanted to be able to share the wisdom that the Lord has blessed me with and that my folly has adequately supported. I wanted to share that wisdom with society in the hopes that, well, one, people could learn without having to go through some of these things that I went through, because I learned from other people. It had no way I could have go through every experience itself to gain the knowledge and the wisdom. So the social sage came from wanting to definitively and intentionally be helpful, to save people some time, save people some pain, save people some loss. But prior to that, my nickname, and it's still a people calling me that, was Ninja Bear. Now that Ninja Bear came from a very interesting place too, because I was like a chocolate covered sword now. You know, I might be nice and sweet and cute and cool and huggable, but I was very, very cold and very, very, very sharp and very, very hard inside. I may lie to tell you. Well, you know, who know, right? Who know, I shared with it. Real nice, you know, but real shared with it. And the ninja part also came from my ability to disguise who I really was as a person in whatever persona the environment required. I knew how to stand out and disappear at the same time. I used to call it prestidigitation, which is the art of illusion. It is the trickery that magicians use to hold your attention with one hand while the trick is being performed with the other one. It is the art of distraction. If you control what people are looking at, well, then they don't see anything you don't want them to see. So for how much I used to lime and knock about and how heavily visible I was in terms of parties and promotions and committees and limes and all these things that I was doing, I was hiding in plain sight by giving people something to look at. And the sad thing is now, having moved on from that, having learned and unlearned who Ricardo was, and deciding who I wanted to be, or accepting who I was, it's sad to look at so many people now mastering that art of intentional distraction, because they're losing the self in the illusions that they're creating. We in a generation that has been led astray, yes, but also willingly loses themselves. And it's hard to watch because you're watching people dissatisfied with a life that they chose. So now they have no confidence in their ability to choose better going forward. You know what I mean? It's sad. And to be honest with you, I think it's one of the reasons why I end up back in church. Because the work that had to get done, I can't do by myself. I had to be a part of a community to do what I had to do. Because I can't tell people about the importance of being an important part, of being a part of a community. And I'm not part of one myself. You understand? So this is me completely disrobing and saying, hey, all them personas that I put on over the years, I had to unlearn that to find back who I was and decide who I want to be going forward. So I completely, I wouldn't say understand, because I'm sure it's a lot of unpacking for you to do with it as well. But I completely empathize with the position that you have on this topic right now.
And that's the thing, I wouldn't bring back up something like this if I didn't do the introspection to know a little bit more about myself in a scenario like this.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't bring this up for us to divulge or speak about ourselves, really. It was a question to the listeners.
Yeah.
Of who are you? Because, and it's something that I'm not going to say again, your homework to do as a listener of the living room, or who as a listener of WAC. But I really want to take a couple minutes and think of it. Who are you? Not where do you work, not where it is due, but who are you? Insert your name here. Really think about it, because from since November to now, I would have gone through a whole soul searching mission of learning stuff about myself. And if it's one thing I could say with pride, I don't like to look weak or vulnerable. I do ask for help. If I ask for help, something real wrong.
It had to be real bad, yeah.
Yeah, I do ask for help. So, for me, I have learned that one of my biggest problems is the tough persona that I put out there. But you know, I've also learned in the past 4 months a new level of humility, a new level of tolerance.
Yeah.
I've also learned that as much as I love the culture of our country, because anybody who knows me know I'm a cultural connoisseur, but I've also learned from that I have to learn, I have a lot of unpacking to do from the history of what it was to where we want it to go. So I know who I am and what I want, but I still have a long way to go to become the person I want to be. Because here what's going on, as I said a couple of minutes ago, you can have the job you want, you can have the house you want, you can drive the car you want, but sometimes there's something missing in your life that you have to look for, that you have to search for, that you have to fulfill. It could be according to become closer to God. It could be according to become a family man. It could be according to become a husband or a wife or whatever it is. But what I'm saying is, of all the things that you set out to achieve, there's always something more that God would have planned for you. And it's up to you now, if you're willing to listen to that call and try to achieve and answer what God wants from you. Or not want from you, but what of you. Because see, a life of service is a real serious thing.
You see that, I like to tell you, we really have a nice synchronicity, you know, because I wanted to mention something and you created an excellent opportunity to segue into it. You see that life of service? I don't want people to confuse a life of service with a life of work. Because sadly, it is well documented, and I'm pretty certain that people do the reading for it, and they might be better positioned to talk about it. But it is well documented that upon retirement, there can be a noticeable decline in the health of people who created identities solely around the value that they had in the workplace.
And the work.
Right. Because there's a big shot on work. And then when that work is no longer available to you,
what it is,
you have no idea who or what you are outside of that particular role.
Okay, if you notice how I posing the question whole night, who are you? Not where does do, not where does walking up. Who are you?
Right. Who are you after the work? Who are you when the lights go down?
That big skinny fabulous, you know.
Yeah, saying, you know, that's actually what went across my mind. Listen, I sorry, you know, but if your identity is associated with what you do, then you're at the risk of having no idea who you are if you can't do it. If your identity is tied to what you look like, well then, God forbid, you start to look differently. Now,
who are you?
Hers, eh? I want to be this guy, but Aaron, have you seen what Madonna looks like lately?
No.
Check it out for yourself.
But I've seen what J-Lo looks like recently.
Vastly different. Anyway,
yes.
What I'm saying is that...
No, but I get where you're coming from. From.
I know, when you see Madonna, you'll be like, oh boy. Anyway, what I'm saying is that when your identity, your sense of self is associated to this singular thing,
your physical appearance,
right? To your physical appearance, to how important you are on work, you know, it doesn't end up with people who refuse to age gracefully. They refuse to move to our next level in society.
Brother man, You know what that leads to?
I was glad that you're going to say it and not me. Go ahead.
People who is 70 and still on work. Retire in peace. Go and play with your grandchildren. Oh, you touch a nerve there.
Dan,
how much consultancy work you gonna take?
You studying the consultancy? That's for organizations. We're talking about people who, to quote unquote, are septuagenarians. Septuagenarians. You are in your 70s and reasserting yourself into the political landscape. That in the event, listen, if the Honorable Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley wins election and serves another term, he will be in his 80s for the next election, Aaron.
I'm hoping that he stays true to his promise and does not go back up.
When he promised that?
He said that.
Yeah, I hear you. But what I'm saying is these are people who are already in the 70s, mid 70s, even leaning into late 70s. Right? You know what you gonna do?
Yes,
they can't go and stand up in a bank line and walk through the market and go and buy their own papers and them kind of thing again.
You start, man.
I suggest you call the topic.
I know, but you start me with this. But you bring up this part.
You bring it up.
No, you bring it up.
Anyway, you see, this doesn't happen when you humble yourself. You don't want to take credit for nothing. Big up you, man, Aaron. But see, the progress you talk about is very closely related to succession. Because how do you know when you finished the job if you've never finished the job?
I saw something the other day that true leadership is when you can step away and the organization can still run.
Thank you very much, good sir. So,
but you see them, we call them septuagenarians.
Septuagenarians.
The old people, them, right?
Yeah.
Them old people, them.
No, sorry, sir. People in the 70s. They have other terms for other people of other ages. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but in the workplace, why is it that you are sitting on a board for a company at the age of 80? Why is it that after being the CEO of an organization till you reach 65 or 70, you want to come back as a consultant? You don't have nothing to do home? Enjoy your retirement. Go and travel the world. If you can't travel the world, travel Trinidad. Listen to Trinidad Rio Traveling Man and learn some new places in Trinidad and go there. Relax.
Aaron, you're acting like you don't know the answer to that.
No, I know the answer, but the thing is, as we always say, we don't just talk about the problems. We are putting forward solutions.
Retire and find something to do. Retire and find something to do now, man.
Buy a 7-seater and travel the country.
You know what? I would love.
And they're doing a ferry of the islands. Watch me when it starts. Park your car on the ferry and go Grenada.
And you could pay how much thousands to take the ferry to Venezuela too? From our here is how much? $300 or something?
I too sure about that one. But just saying, there are so many things. You know, they say that life begins at 40.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I am not lying to anybody. You know what I'm looking forward to when I turn 40?
Great.
Well, I have 2 in my bed already, and judging from what you said, yes, your gray hairs are by your mistakes. That means I only made 2 mistakes in life.
And they just make one again there.
And I know the mistake. I know the mistakes I
you sir. Don't give me nothing to cut out of the people in the program here, please. Thank you.
Right? But what I'm saying is, if they say I'm looking forward to playing in the over 40 Fat Patch League,
right?
This have a Masters tournament in Barbados. I'm looking forward to them things.
Aaron, we cannot see the type of progress that we're capable of or are due simply because there's a bottleneck. Right? At the end of the day, progress cannot occur It's like them drain and them now. You understand? Them drain and them that block up, so nothing could flow.
So you're talking about the river by Gasperlo that is passed over the highway?
That's one example. Right? But we have a bottleneck because there's inadequate egress. Right? I'm going to say it in capital letters. Kudos to MP Rodney Charles for saying that he's looking forward to retirement so he could go and play with your grandchildren. Kudos for saying, let us look for adequate, qualified leadership. Because Aaron, you know, succession has been something we've been calling for on various platforms for years. Right? But what examples do we have when the people going up for elections are in their mid to late 70s?
I asked this question here, and y'all could chime off in the comments about it. How old is the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar? Because she just had a birthday recently, I think.
Yeah, yesterday.
Serious?
Yes. So happy belated birthday to the former Prime Ministeress.
The first and only female Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But really and truly, is it that, as you say, the lack of egress, you know, they say ride off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
But why ride off into the sunset when we keep changing the retirement age to a higher age? Why ride off into the sunset when companies don't have proper succession plans in place? Why ride off into the sunset when you would have been living paycheck to paycheck for 33 and 30 years? So you need to continue to finish pay off for the car you just buy when you turn 60 and you take an 8-year loan, because you know what? The bank, they just give you an 8-year loan regardless of what. The system, admittedly, is designed. And when I say the system, the capitalist world that we live in is designed to continue to make us want to work to be able to maintain a lifestyle. Because admittedly, if you stop working and you stop making that salary, how are you going to afford the lifestyle that you had?
That, and it's not just about the salary, Aaron. It is about the level of, it is about the power, it is about the authority that exists. You telling me after having diplomatic passports, you had to go and sit down in cabin? Economy class?
Economy class? Brother.
Right?
Hey, I see something on TikTok about Carl. We got just that next time.
You could imagine after blue lights and sirens and motorcycle escorts that it's going to take you 2.5 hours on the highway like everybody else. 3, 4. You could imagine no parking immediately in front of the building. What are you telling me about drive wrong and look for a park when all I know go in the parkade when I used to have a little spot with a little cone, and the security used to come and move the cone for me to get my park. People cannot go back to what they consider to be subservient standards, and they have a almost innate fear of irrelevance. Because what happens when you are the biggest fish in the pond and you are taken out of the pond, the fish suffocates and dies. The need to feel important and to be treated as such. The money is one thing, half of them pensioned on lock. But you see that need to be honored?
And we bring it back to what progress looks like. Because when you only packaging that last image, that last headshot that you had up on the wall, and you picture it in every office, and now you had to go back and watch somebody else picture it, you will feel that all the progress you have made over the years, and all you know how much I like a graph, you made so much progress that when you hit the pinnacle, now you know what? The fall from the pinnacle is even faster than the process it took you to get there. So Here we
Instead
go.
of a normal distribution curve where you reach a pinnacle and then you implement succession so that there's a graceful
A graceful
and
ride off into the
gradual.
sunset.
Yeah, nah.
No, you going on nosedive.
Hmm.
So all this talk that we talked today about progress and packaging the progress and the process and all these different things. Here was the thing you should really walk away with today. Run the race you have to run. But also know that when you finish the race, start to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you fall off, you will fall off and you get cramp. That will put you in a bad place. But if you cool down after, you'd never know, you might be able to run a race with your grandchildren again. Think about that. Because here we're going on. The greatest joy, once you are granted the gift of life by the man above, is to be able to see your family grow from generation to generation. But to do that, you need to know who you are and be able to enjoy life outside of work. Because if you do enjoy that life, trust me, the health implications are not enjoying life. Ain't nice. So, I leave you with this. Learn about you. Learn about who you are. Learn about your process. And ride off gracefully into the sunset. If it's on a bicycle, on a Harley, because you went through a midlife crisis, or in a Porsche, or even walking around the savannah, ride off gracefully into the sunset and allow somebody else to take tomorrow morning shine. This is your shitty DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code. And I tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know you love them, guys. Ricardo, we ended with the song, we good, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could go ahead and do the needful.
Yeah, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. And know when to hang it up now, right? Know when to hang it up. At the end of the day, oh gosh, let me stop plugging the drain now. But anyway, hey, all you Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band. We're gonna close off with the song.
The call.
The call.
Coming like, I have to do something about this thing, Somebody have to bring back the balance, hey. Yo, Sash.
Okay, what go on, buddy?
You ain't see the way the streets in Trinbago I get bloody.
Shots not ringing out here, dog. My daughter trying to study, and on news before news, it's 2 more dead bodies.
Things are heading downhill, I like it, don't intend to stop.
Telling
Now
me.
my son no sure to come back if I send him to the shop.
There was another pandemic, how the bodies them a drop, cause every other get a youth trap.
For real. Sometimes I feel like the new music bring badness back in style. Place full of fully dance, man, woman and
I
child.
wonder if it's cause the people them not hear us for a while. The whole country I get filed, but we fed up of the boom, fed up of the bang, fed up of the warrings, fed up of the gangs, fed up of the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back.
Fed up of the boom, fed up of the bang, fed up of the warring, fed up of the gangs, fed up of the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back. Hey, you see the news last night, Sash?
Kingman a ball.
Hold on, I feel like I didn't see it to the call.
Voila!
See, what go on, brothers? Well, I see 2 great ones calling me. To what do I owe the honors?
Ziggy boy be trying to reach them youths them on the corners.
Them who giving up the ghost, calling themselves all kind of numbers.
No fuse them in the streets, belly balling out for younger. Till somebody asks them, what team you rocking under?
And them youths lost, and they started when they small.
All the watch vibes now, dog. That's King David trying to call. Yo, David.
Go far right when me know true, but Bridge you know telling me shots busting up by you.
Dan, and up to now, me need a single siren. Yo, switch the video, the Anna call with Ziggy and King.
Serious?
Oh, brother.
It's like a meeting call to order.
Oh, David, nah man, we just happen to link each other.
Well, I don't feel that this just happened. I think now is the time for us to free the youth, them mind. Cause we fed up of the boom, fed up of the bang, fed up of the warring, fed up of the gangs, fed up of the violence. Time it fi stop. Time
scotch and upscotch. Now it's only gunshots everywhere a hot spot.
When music was top notch, now it's only bus clock. So we need to bring the balance for the madness to stop.
Don't want them already, but things are get shredder. Now we need to show the youths how to love one another. Too much gang warfare and violent time in this time. Who could? Look, prophet on the line. Bobo.
King what really going on in this country? Like all them new song making gun factory. Last night they run in a house and kill three.
I know add you talk call with David Sash and Ziggy.
We know saying it's time cause the youth and them blind. And how many more bodies the police must find? And who stands to benefit the most of a crime? Press down to the 6, 7 and the 9. So we fed up at the boom, fed up at the bang, bang, fed up at the warring, fed up at the gangs, fed up at the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back. Fed up at the boom, fed up at the bang, fed up at the warring, fed up at the gangs, fed up at the violence. Time it fi stop. Come on, time fi bring the country back.
The country fed up at the violence.
Yeah.
Cause it never really make no sense.
One do them.
Some of them little youth man like them skull dead.
Fed up of the gangs.